So it's a jubilee, 10th anniversary, and it's a time for looking back to the past. Could you perhaps tell us a little bit about the beginnings of Animateka, the first edition? How did it all start?
This is a long time ago, and actually what I remember from this first edition is that after going to some festivals, and especially two are the important one that kind of made Animateka happen. One is Fantoche in Switzerland, where actually I went there, maybe it was my first festival, and I was kind of also Socialization of the Bull, Socializacja Bika was presented there. And I think that as the authors, they could not go, somehow I was there to present the festival. And then Otto Adler, at the end of the festival, I don't know what happened, but he just called me and we went to sit in a park. And me and him discussing things, and then he suddenly told me you should start a festival. And that was what? And I came back home and I was working at the Kinoteka with the monthly series, Animateka. And then actually first big thing was to bring AnimaFest Zagreb to Ljubljana, with bringing half of the festival, all the prints, and show them in Kinoteka. And then the second year it was Holland Animation Film Festival. And when Gerben, as a special guest, arrived there, he told me but come on, why are you doing it like this? You should start your own thing. And then we were ready, but it would not be possible without Silvan Furlan, the director of Kinoteka at that time. I think it's actually, then he died 2005. So he was the one that made it possible. He helped me to found the first sponsor, and it was one sponsor, Mobitel at that time. And but still, then it was what to do. We had to do everything. I had a big help from Peticat Studio in Zagreb. That's Daniel Žeželj and Stanislav and Boris Greiner. Actually, at that time they made all the visual catalog, poster, and then the big thing, I remember we were putting the exhibition of Žeželj on the walls, and then suddenly I turned back and I see 100 people, and it's the festival should start. And really, literally I went all dirty and all smelly on stage, and we opened it, and I think it was great. It was kind of a lot of energy, a lot of willing to do it, a lot of it should be done, and and at that time, very important, Petra Slatinšek, who is now working at Kino Dvor in charge for the children and youth program. She was my assistant. She became my girlfriend after that first edition. But then what was really important, she in the next 3 years, she brought she built it up the program for children. And then, from 2000, luckily, every year juries were important animation authors or directors from other festivals. And suddenly it got its own shape, with many problems, with many fights, but still nowadays it's the same. So each year is almost the same, building it up, not being sure completely about the budget, and and then now it's 10 years, and it's moment maybe to think also not only to look back, but also to think for the future. And we have a team that's now working on the festival 2, 3, 4 years in a row. But I think that it's important that we cannot only go on by making the festival. We should really kind of improve activities through the year. And my wish and my hope is that really in January we have the Two Reels Association, we have a new strong meeting, and we get some new members on board, and we start especially with the children education program. Distribution of films as well. We have already bought one very good title approved for adoption that's ready to start next year. It sounds really like 10 years, wow, but on the other hand, because we didn't succeed yet, and probably we would never in Slovenia in such a situation to have at least one or two person that could leave from the festival and could start to work from January to December as it should be. So it's always like every year it's kind of critical. Every year it's a big kind of victory, but then also you never know what will happen. Like I cannot force anybody to stay on board with such with all this energy being put in and so little reward. I mean, the reward is here, but this like human and emotional. In a way, we are still making it, because like also the volunteers, it's really important that they are still, some of them are with the festival for many, many years. Some of them, they just come and then maybe, hopefully they want to do more. But yeah, basically it's this. And we're happy, like, Kino Dvor, it's our home. Animateka is even more important, is our home again, but for both institutions, like the festival is just something beside big things that they are doing, and for us we think we are the most important thing ever, but then reality is a little bit different. This year I think the program is over the top. It's really, luckily some puzzle gets good together, but this maybe also came with experience, with the reputation. We have a very good reputation, I think. But what to do, for example, I don't know, media, European Union, it's a new story, it's a new financial plan. So should we start to think maybe a little bit more about this, giving more professional content, meaning like inviting studios, because it will be the only way to get public support. And actually this is, as I wrote in the catalog every year, like the last thing for the catalog, here really one thing that nobody's prizing the catalog editor, and Alenka and Maja Ropret, they are really like precious collaborator, and it's like nobody see their work, but all the work is in the catalog. But what I wrote this year, we wrote with Animateka towards a new era, head high in a fight for the right for public funds. This is, I think, it's it will be a big fight to still get the support from public funds, because